The indictment alleges that between at least 2010 and at least 2021, the Alexander brothers worked together and with others to repeatedly and violently drug, sexually assault, and rape dozens of female victims.
The Department of Justice announced its arrest of the Alexander brothers earlier this week. Now that we know the results of today's bond hearing, let's take a closer look at the indictment against the millionaire siblings that led to federal sex trafficking charges.
The Alexander brothers reside primarily in New York and Miami, and as alleged, Oren and Tal Alexander were real estate agents who focus on ultra-luxury markets. Alon Alexander, who was Oren's twin, was an executive of a private security firm owned and operated by his family. As alleged, the defendants used their wealth and positions to create and facilitate opportunities to sexually assault women. In particular, Oren and Tal Alexander allegedly used their prominent positions in the real estate industry to induce women to come to events and parties. At those parties, and sometimes afterwards, the women were sexually assaulted by one or more of the defendants. As alleged in the indictment, for years, the Alexander brothers, sometimes with others, also arranged domestic and international trips to carry out their sex trafficking scheme. To recruit and induce women to come on the trips, they provided material benefits, things like travel to vacation destinations, luxury accommodations, and access to other high-end experiences. As alleged, the Alexander brothers met their trafficking victims through a variety of means: in person, over social media, on dating apps, and through social connections. At times, they allegedly used their social connections or the guise of starting a relationship to lure women into their orbit. The indictment alleges that after meeting their victims, the Alexander brothers would invite the victims to a vacation property or location. The Alexander brothers and other men they planned the trips with paid for the flights or accommodations for the women on these trips. And at times, the defendants handpicked the women to invite. At other times, they used paid party promoters to source women for them. The indictment also alleges that in advance of these events, the Alexander brothers and others procured drugs that they agreed to provide to the women, including cocaine, mushrooms, and GHB. As we allege, these drugs caused some of the women to be physically unable to fight back or to escape. Then, as alleged, the Alexander brothers, sometimes acting alone, sometimes with each other, and sometimes with other men, forcibly raped and assaulted the women. As the indictment alleges, the Alexander brothers' sex trafficking agreement went beyond the planned trips and events. On numerous occasions, one or more of the defendants drugged and raped or sexually assaulted women they encountered by chance, at bars, at nightclubs, social events, and dating apps. These assaults allegedly had many of the same hallmarks as the rapes that occurred at group events: isolated locations, drugged victims, force, and physical restraint. As of today, law enforcement has interviewed dozens of women who reported being forcibly raped or sexually assaulted by at least one of the Alexander brothers. This conduct, as alleged, was heinous. I stood here several months ago and made clear that this office is firmly committed to prosecuting individuals who exploit and abuse women. I meant what I said. With our law enforcement partners, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. And let me add this: we are not done. I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do so quickly. You can call 212-384-2700. You can also email at alexander-case@fbi.gov.
All right, joining us still to discuss our defense attorney, former Assistant District Attorney Marie Pereira, and retired NYPD executive and author of Once a Cop, Corey Pegues. Corey, I'll start with you because he sort of echoed what you said earlier. Any of these celebrities out there, any of you high-profile folks trying to pull this stuff, you better look out. We're not done. We're coming after you as well.
Listen to this. Alexander.case.com. Insane. They gave him a whole handle. So you already know you're going to have victims coming out of the woodworks. Then you're going to have people making up stories. These guys are done. There's two things that I just noticed, and y'all probably noticed it too. Damian Williams, this will probably be his last case. I think he's out of there in a couple of days. Remember, he resigning. I think he resigns on the 14th, or what? Today's the 13th.
Yeah.
This will be his last outgoing case, and don't think for a minute that these guys weren't at Puffy's parties. Remember, I'm here in New York. We're here in New York. I've been to Hampton parties. It's a small circle of these people. Now, hold on. Before I say I've been to Hampton
Exactly.
parties,
I'm saying you better
on television.
Calm down for a second,
Yeah,
Corey. Be careful.
I want to make sure that people don't know. I wasn't at no Diddy party, okay? But it's a small. Hamptons are small, and the rich stay with the rich. They all. So I'm thinking, I'm like, these guys might have been at Diddy parties, and vice versa. Diddy might have been at their parties.
Yeah, no question. And they're all getting these ideas from each other. You know, what was really particularly heinous about these crimes is the way the indictment sort of stated it. These were all planned. I want to give you a little bit more insight into that indictment. This is part of the superseding indictment against the brothers. And it claims that on some occasions, after the women accepted the invitations to attend a particular event, the Alexander brothers transported women and caused women to be transported across state and international lines. The defendants and other men attending the trips pooled financial resources in order to pay for flights and other travel expenses for women. In advance of the events, the Alexander brothers and others procured drugs that they agreed to provide to the women, including, among other things, cocaine, mushrooms, and GHB. On multiple occasions during these trips, events, and other things, the Alexander brothers and others surreptitiously drugged women's drinks. Some of the victims experienced symptoms of impaired physical and mental capacity, including limitations of movement and speech and incomplete memories of the events. And you know, when you look at the situation, Marie, these are not bad-looking guys. They've got all the money in the world that you would need. They've got access, all the things you want. Women cannot possibly be a problem for these guys, yet this is what they do. And in the federal indictment, they claim they think this has been going on since high school with these guys. This has nothing to do with sex, Marie. This is an illness. This is a sickness.
It's about control. And reading, if I close my eyes and I didn't hear the name Alexander, it's a copy and paste for Sean Combs. Same thing, same exact thing. They procured people to help recruit the girls. They screened them. They had people helping them. The rapes were just heinous, putting people to sleep, paralyzing them, and then they wake up somewhere raped and confused. Same thing, it's a copy and paste situation, and they are going down. I'm surprised that they got bail. They're probably thinking our lawyers are so fly, they got us bail in state court. You know what? When we get to federal court, we're going to make a bail application. And the fact that the state court said we're good to go and we're safe to be out, the federal court might consider it. Let's wait and see what happens over there. But it's the same exact allegations minus the BO. And I don't mean body odor, it's baby oil.
I'm sure there was some of that there too. I mean, we didn't get down into
but
that.
Mike, what about?
But wait, I want to say something, Corey, before you go on, because what we found out today, and I just found out, was that Tal, the oldest brother, went into federal court in Miami on the charges, and he was not released. They found him to be a flight risk. You know, federal court is a different game, Marie, as you know. And again, Diddy's charges are federal as well. As you said, they mirror what we're hearing here. Go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, we're reading the indictment. You see, they keep saying the twins and others and others. So are we going to see some more arrests, Mike, Marie? Because they constantly kept saying others, getting the drugs, others, pooling the money, others, transporting. But this is what I hate about the police side. They're gonna take the celebrities first. You know, the celebrities got locked up, make this a big case. But what about all these others? Why they don't just do a whole dragnet, Mike?
Well, here's what I think, and Marie, you can tell me if you agree with me. I think a lot of them have been talked to already. They've been threatened, so they know that they have the goods on these guys based on those other people that they know were there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and people are lawyering up. People are preparing, and like Corey said, prepare yourself, because you know if you were there. You know if you're the others. You know if you booked a flight, arranged hotels. You know if you aided and abetted and penetrated. It is what it is. Yeah. You're going down.
Yeah, going down. I wish you luck, Corey. I hope everything's all right with you, man. We like having you as a guest. We like having you as a guest on the show, my man.
Not my baby, not my
I'll keep it. Nah, Corey, we know you're good.
I put my foot in my mouth for that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marie Pedetta, Corey Pegues, thank you so much for being with me tonight. Always a pleasure to have you guys on the show.